Every project we do in any of our facilities, in any of our brands, you start out with the mission statement. What does this vehicle need to do? And with the electric fire truck, we needed it to be a completely functioning fire truck. Number one reason that you look at an electric fire truck is because you're trying to bring down not only the carbon footprint of your city to help with the environment, but also the noise footprint. The second criteria is it also needs to be able to be customized. They explained to us that they wanted a truck that looked like their fire truck, that felt like their fire truck, that when their firemen got in and out of the truck, drove the truck, or operated the pump on the scene, that it was no different than the diesel trucks that they use today.
When we started the Vector project, as we looked around at what was out there, we found a company in Scotland, Emergency One, who had already gone through the process that we were about ready to go through. We decided to partner together, and since then it's been a very, very unique and positive partnership where we've been able to go to school on what they learned, but adapt what they learned to the North American fire apparatus.
When you look at the Vector, you're going to think it looks very much like any other fire truck you see, but the underpinnings is where all the technology, the electrification takes place, but from an operational standpoint, we really nailed it, that it is a North American fire truck just like the one they use.
Emergency One had developed the first fully electric fire apparatus in the world. And that's what we were really looking for, was fully electric. We wanted to be able to run all day long on electric, but then also have the ability to continue operation even when the batteries ran out. And so they had tackled that problem already. We were able to then look at what they'd done and then scale it up for a North American apparatus. So what we really have created is an all-electric fire truck. So that's different from our competitors who are combining electrification in more of a hybrid direction or have a much smaller vehicle that's more European in style. The Vector all-electric fire apparatus is ready to go. And the reason I can say that with a lot of confidence is that all of the parts that are going into it are already developed and already proven. And we're just bringing them together in a way that makes sense for a fire apparatus and bringing it to North America in a package where we can still customize and provide what people are used to having.
We've presented this to dozens of cities and walked them through where we are in the design and how we arrived here, and the response has been overwhelming.
We have been talking about electric vehicles for decades, and honestly, I wasn't sure it would ever come to the fire industry. It really feels great to be able to see this technology coming together in a way that I think is really going to be practical and pragmatic.
We are driving innovation into our products, and we are not just stopping with the Vector. Right now we have a team of engineers that are working on not just the next generation of fire trucks, but multiple years of new products being brought into the market. So we truly are sticking to our roots as a custom fire truck builder, but providing it in an electrified fashion.
So we believe that an electric fire truck needs to be able to respond on electric, operate on electric, pump on electric, and return all on electric. That's what the Vector can do. The motors in the Vector are capable of 500 horsepower, and they're designed to be able to mimic a 500 horsepower Cummins X12 engine. So the acceleration in a pumper this size is absolutely awesome. People talk about range anxiety. That's one of the things that customers often worry about. The wonderful thing about the Vector is that you can drive this on all electric for easily a 12-hour shift back to back without ever recharging. And that is because of the massive battery storage that we have on board. We picked a nice quiet spot to talk about the Vector and how it operates on electric only. This truck is actually running right now. You don't hear anything in the background, that's because it doesn't make any noise. So at the scene, with the warning lights going, the communication equipment going, you have no diesel noise, you have no diesel exhaust, you have no diesel heat. The Vector truly in this way is a truck of the future. Pumping on all electric with the Vector starts by stopping the truck, pulling the parking brake, the truck goes into neutral automatically, and pressing the pump switch. Now you're ready to get out of the cab and head to the pump panel. So pumping is as simple as coming back to the pump panel, hitting the pump button, and then hitting a pre-select. At this point, the pump ramps up to give us the desired pressure. And we're flowing water. So we want to talk about pumping on all electric. So we're standing next to the pump panel. We got 150 psi of pressure being provided by the pump right now on tank water only. So it's quiet. I can talk in a normal tone of voice. We open up the hydrant, and now the pump's not having to do so much work. You can hear it get a lot quieter yet. So in a typical urban environment, when you're operating mostly on hydrant, this is a super quiet pump. Controlling the Vector all-electric pump is very easy. You can either operate it using pre-selects, to 110, back up to 150, or you can control it manually using the twister or the up and down arrows. This truck can pump 2 hand lines at 500 GPM for 4 hours before the range extender comes on and keeps your batteries going. Most fire departments that I talk to say if they don't have a fire out in a half an hour, they're calling in extra equipment because it's bigger than one truck can handle. So that 4-hour pump range is more than adequate to deal with 99.9% of what you're going to face on a fire ground. So after we're done pumping on all electric and get all of our valves closed and hoses put away, it's just a matter of climbing back into the truck and hitting one simple switch. We're going back from pump into road. If the Vector battery state of charge drops to 15%, then the range extender comes on automatically. You get a series of beeps. The engine starts up by itself, idles for just a little bit, and then goes into generating mode. So right now this range extender is pushing 120 kilowatts of power back into the battery packs to charge them up. You can do this at any time, either manually or automatically. If you're in a situation where you definitely don't want the engine to come on, there's an inhibit function that allows you to keep the range extender from doing anything on its own. So we've shown how well the Vector can respond, operate, pump, and now return on all electric. Vector can do this 12 hours a day with no recharging in between. But if you do go back into the station between every call or every other call for about 15 minutes, the fast charger keeps you right up to 100% state of charge on the batteries.